All right, man. Well, welcome to Bring the Bars, episode 11. Thanks for hopping on, man. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. I
Well,
appreciate it as well. Right on.
not a problem, man. To start these off, just introduce yourself to all the listeners and let everybody know where they can find your music.
Yeah, you can find my music on my Facebook page. You can obviously look it up or whatever. Or you can look up Spotify and TaNTrum. Look up TaNTrum on Spotify. Yeah, man.
Yeah, to
YouTube,
let the listeners
obviously.
know, what kind of music do you create?
It's pretty much like a mixture of rap and rock, metal, a little bit of like I do all kinds of music actually. I do like everything from like softer rock to like metal to rock, whatever. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
like
because
to
I
mix it
noticed
up.
that in your tracks, actually, like going through them all, you really have like a metal vibe to a lot of your tracks, or rock vibe. Have you ever
Right.
considered
Yeah.
like, or have you done it just crossing over and making an album pure rock or pure
Yeah.
metal?
I was planning on possibly doing that. Like just separating the two and running, one way, and then obviously doing like a whole hip hop album. But I don't know. I feel like it's my niche to kind of just mix it up, and you know what I mean. I've tried going
Yeah,
one
man,
way.
you suit it.
Yeah, I tried going one way with like rock. I actually started off doing mainly everything was rock music because I just wasn't good at rap at the time. Like I was just terrible at it because I like stutter and stuff like that. I still do. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, well, we did that one track together, the Anthem.
yeah,
And when I first,
that is
like, first song I heard from you, I think was Fight Song. And then I was like, okay, I need to put in a real underground vibe to this guy, a boom bap
right.
style of vibe. Who were like your
Yeah,
biggest influence to get you into writing hip hop music?
I'd have to say there was Hobson
Yeah.
and Tech Nine. Tech Nine was probably bigger than Hobson, but Hobson kind of like was the pushed me into it. Was like okay, here we go. I got it. You know what I mean? I got to get in on it because I
Yeah.
was like I really admired bars that were like in depth and shit like that, and Tech Nine always brought it. So you know what I mean? And
Yeah, I'd have
obviously
Tech
like
Nine as one of my tops for sure.
big time. Oh yeah, yeah. And I think the first song that really like got me was Little Pills because I was like in that point in my life where it was just awesome to me, and that was
Yeah.
like a long time ago. So
When
back in
was
my
like, how old were you when you first created your first song, and what made you
oh
want to just like
shit,
put my voice on recording? Like, what made you decide to
uh,
try it?
the first song was actually like a love song, oddly enough. But I was like mainly just writing, like little melodies on my guitar, doing it by myself. You know what I mean? And then it slowly branched from that to being more of like looking into like learning how to do rock vibes and stuff like that. So things ended up being more metal along the way because I had friends that were, it was just influenced little by little to just, learn metal riffs and licks and stuff like that and doing all kinds of different guitar solo crap, you know what I mean, lead parts. There was
Yeah.
a lot, you know, there was a lot um of lot like rock influence on my end growing up. Just
Yeah, you can hear it in your tracks all from start to finish. You can definitely hear the rock influence.
right, yeah. And then what's weird is that like I had a lot of friends that were so into rap that I slowly weaned into it, you know what I mean, and it ended up being like a really huge influence on my life, on everything, on like you know what I mean, on everything that I do now. I won't.
Yeah, I grew up with the rock scene myself, actually, even with my parents being old 60s, 70s, 80s, all rock. Like, I grew up on Alice Cooper, and
Yeah,
and that was a big influence kind of into like the first style I went into when I started listening to hip hop. I tried to be so dark and kind of almost
right.
like it fit into psychopathic records kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, yeah, actually, Psychopathic Records was pretty big to me too. Like growing up, especially in my younger years. Not so much now. I actually look for more in depth type of, that makes you think. Like wow, kind of rap. You know what I mean? It's hard to
Yeah,
find that.
the
as a
certain
fan.
tracks where it makes you go back and you pick up something different every time.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, big time. Especially when there's a lot of content in the song. You know what I mean? If you have a lot of content, it just
Yeah.
makes you want to listen more over and over again. You're like, oh, no, you didn't hear this last time. What the hell? Like,
Yeah.
you know, like, yeah,
And like you mentioned in the intro, you go by TaNTrum. How did this
yep.
name come about? And was it always TaNTrum from when you first started? Because I know a lot of people have name changes throughout the years.
No, it's actually I changed it because I ended up we had a skate team that we were gonna do. Me and Eric Cliff, actually, my friend Eric. We came up with well, he kind of came up with this tantrum thing, and then like it just adopted as my name because my first letter was T and then M. You know what I mean? Tantrum just kind of
Yeah.
worked because I was temperamental, as you know, I was really temperamental as a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like it just was me. You know what I mean? So, but as
Yeah.
as I'm growing up, I just kind of adopted it as my rap name because it just works. You know what I mean? With my style and how
Yeah,
I
it
how I
does.
rap aggressively. You know what I mean? Which I always liked that style of rap, which went in with the rock so fluently that it would just worked. You know what I mean? It just happened.
Yeah, it does fit your name perfectly. And it's funny you mentioned for the skating company because I was massive into the skating culture in like the early 2000s. And
Big
that
time.
that also all that music you hear throughout has influences on everything you create. Cause I remember hearing of like him through BAM and
Right.
all those kind of
Yeah.
bands.
Right.
Do you still
All that
skate
other.
now?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Me and my buddy Jay Ames, actually. I'm on a couple tracks with him. Yeah. Shout out to Jay Ames. He's a beast on the mic too, man. But we
Yeah,
used
I
to
was
skate
actually going
back
to
in the
talk to you
day.
about him.
Yeah. Me and him, we used to skate growing up, man. We were just like kids, just shredding around Boston where we growing up, since I was 10, I've been growing up, so
Yeah, and you're mentioning Jay Ames, and I was actually going to ask you about that because I've seen a lot of your tracks was featuring him, and even a lot of his tracks, as I ended up on his channel
yeah,
featuring you. How long have you
yeah.
guys been collaborating for, and how did this? You were saying you were
um
kids. I guess you guys met up when you were younger, and then friendship grew
yeah,
from there.
right, yeah. It was like pretty much like we became friends through the skateboarding long before the music was a thing, but he always admired, the music that I did, just rock music, and he's into like wide variety of music, but he mainly does hip hop, obviously,
Yeah,
but but yeah, we started doing, actually, really recently was the first actual song we put together. We used to like just rap and stuff, just hanging out, we would
yeah,
write raps and stuff and just spit bars, whatever we could come up with off of whatever, instrumental was there, because that's kind of the root of it. We just started, you know what I mean? We were like, let's just see what we can come up with. Okay, who cares?
yeah. That's how it always starts.
Yeah. And that's where the love of it really came from, I think, was hearing it and just being inspired and wanting to do it. That's really it.
Yeah, with
It's pretty sweet.
like I mentioned earlier, first song like I think I ever checked out from you was Fight Song featuring Jay Ames, and you had a
Yeah,
video to go with that as well. Are there any
right.
more videos you're planning to drop in the future? Are you trying to go more the music video route? And also, you have some pretty great lyrical videos as well, like lyric videos. Those are cool to always check out.
Yeah. Yep. I do that just so, you know, it's not you can't mistake what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's literally the only reason I started doing that, but it works. It's kind of cool. I'm planning on doing both, probably music videos, whatever. I was thinking about doing my own little live feeds and stuff like that as well again, because I just stopped doing it out of nowhere because, well, my other phone kind of took a crap on me, so I couldn't really do it on my phone, and my laptop's not the greatest for it. So, you know what I mean?
yeah, I went through that as well. That's my next like step in this is definitely get a music video shot after
Yep.
all this crap blows over with the whole COVID situation. But
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's been a big damper on everything, man. It just puts a halt on pretty much
yeah,
doing anything I wanted to do. I had
it
shows
does.
planned and lined up, and it all kind of just fell through because of this, you know.
Yeah, and like some people, I know myself, I don't know if you're the same way, but we're all trapped in for a long time like that? Did it get your creative juices kind of going again? Because I found just being stuck, I just keep writing and writing and writing. It's been insane.
Yeah, I mean, I think I go through spurts. I mean, I go through spurts
Yeah,
of inspiration, but it's also, like just seeing everything in the world that's going on. It's almost, it is influencing, but it's also like it influences me in ways that I don't like almost sometimes. You know what I mean? So,
yeah,
but I do get really good, sparks of inspiration. I actually got this new song coming up that's really, it's not political, I wouldn't say, but it's more just putting things into perspective. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing here?
yeah.
In the world.
One of those songs you were
It's cool.
talking about that makes you think.
Right. Yeah, big time. It has a lot to do with government, but I wouldn't say that I'm aiming any way politically. You know what I mean? It's just my perspectives on, things and stuff like that. And really just hashing it out with myself kind of thing. You know what I mean? That's the
Yeah,
idea of the song. So it's kind of cool.
cool,
What's
man.
really
You got
cool
to
about it,
send that my way when you drop that track. I'll definitely give that a
for
listen.
sure.
And
Absolutely.
also, I think it was about a week or so back, we were chatting a little bit when we were getting this interview going. You mentioned
Yeah.
you're actually working on a new album. Any plans on
Yep.
a set drop for that new album? And what can people really expect from this one that could be maybe different or improved on from your last work?
Well, production is going to be my number one, aim, because I want it to sound good first and foremost, just so
Yeah,
you really get the feel of the music, because a lot of the music that I write is written off of the music itself. Like even the lyrics will go by the tempo and all of the other, things, but the emotion that you get from the song itself is where I really aim with it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And the feel of the song, man. That's usually how I just feel it out.
yeah. The mixing and the production side of it is something that I improve on in every album because I do everything in house. Like, do you do everything yourself in house as well, or do you go to a studio you
Yep.
go to? Or
Absolutely. Everything I do is off my laptop.
yeah, same
Nothing
here,
from the
man.
car.
Yeah, and the mixing and mastering part's always the thing that like you just every track I find you just get better and better, find out new tips and everything.
Right. Absolutely. I do. Yeah. It's kind of like, if you don't improve, I mean, it's kind of stagnant. You stay at a level plane, and if people don't hear you progressing, they're gonna be like, oh, he's gonna stay at the same. You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
same level. So I really feel like that upgrading production and learning new tricks and tips on how to make, you know, the next sound that, grips you.
Yeah, and you always want your next track to be better than your previous track. You always got to top yourself.
Right.
All right, man, we're
Yeah,
going to
man.
lead into a segment here. It's actually called Pick the Bars.
Right.
So this is where I'll give you the choice between two artists and you have to pick which one you prefer over the other one.
Okay. Right on.
So first one I always start off with every podcast I do with everybody is Tupac or Biggie.
Tupac. I gotta go
That,
Pac. So.
I think this is episode 11 and Tupac's 11 for 11.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I just have more influence.
Yeah, and it's like I love them both. I would actually chose I couldn't even pick, but Tupac's more
Yeah.
poetry in my opinion. Biggie just
Right.
he just had fun with it. All right, we'll go to the next one. This is actually between two independent labels, Strange Music or Psychopathic Records.
Ooh. Strange. I'd have to go Strange, man.
Yeah, for sure. I would have to
Definitely.
go straight. I've seen them live too, and man, what a blast that one was. And now we're actually
I
gonna
have yet to
go
see him.
with the leader of Tech with the leader of Strange, was this Tech Nine or Eminem?
Oh man, how did I know that was coming? Oh man, that's a draw, man, because they're both so like, uh, man, ugh,
That's
I
a
don't
tough
know,
one.
man. It is. I don't know, man. I personally feel like it depends on what you're looking at. You know what I mean? Wise, but I might go with Tech Nine, man. I don't know, maybe. No,
Yeah,
I
I
can't
don't
say
even,
that.
I don't even know who I would go
Dude,
with,
it's hard
man.
to
So
say, dude. It's like impossible to choose. You know what I mean? That is like the impossible question to,
yeah,
pick
they're
between
both
those.
goats. You can't like
Right,
they've been in it forever
right.
and
I'd
they
say it's a
never
draw,
stop.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah. I'm undecided on that one.
Now I'm gonna go with actually two real underground guys in the hip hop scene, especially huge in the 2000s. Would be Vinny Paz or R.A. the Rugged Man.
Mm. Yeah, probably Rugged Man.
Yeah, that's what I'd go with as well. I love Vinny Paz, but R.A. the Rugged Man's in my top like five for
Right.
sure.
Right on.
If you had the chance to do like any dream collaboration with one rapper or even one rock star, so pick one rapper, one rock star, who would be your choices on this dream collab?
Oh man, that's a hard question. One rock and one rap.
Yeah, one rock, one rap.
Oh man, I would have to say, because I grew up with so much of the metal, I would have to say Chad Gray from Mudvayne as like a vocal person,
Okay.
and then oh man, probably hmm, I don't know. I'd say Hobson just because I like how versatile, what I mean, he is with his
Yeah.
stuff. So
Did you hear his No Shame album as well? Well, it was a couple years ago
dude,
now, but from start to finish, that thing was incredible.
dude, I've liked almost all of his albums. Like, well, I have like favorite songs off of all of his albums. So
Yeah.
it's it's like he's nonstop good, man.
Yeah,
He's
for
the
sure.
best.
Like that album blew me away. Like I said, start to finish, that one like drove me nuts. I think the first thing I ever saw from him back in the day was like "Sag My Pants" on the
Right,
YouTube
yeah.
video.
Sag My Pants was beast, dude. Oh
That
man,
thing
he's
was
so good,
everywhere when it first dropped.
for real. Yeah, he had songs that had some like crazy depth too. Like, um, was that Tears to Snow off of that Knock Madness album,
Yeah,
which was like the worst album he supposedly said that he put out. You know what I mean? I'm like, what? I thought it was beast, man.
yeah, there's nothing
Let's
wrong
get
with
it
that
either way.
album.
Right. I thought it was awesome. I bumped that whole thing, man. Actually got me
Besides,
into it.
like underground heart artists, and like I said, you're huge into the underground sound, and same with the track we did. Is there anybody you
Yeah.
respect kind of in mainstream artists right now in hip hop?
In mainstream, I would say, oh man, it's hard to say, man. I'm more of like underground route where I like the idea of coming, from the underground solely
Yeah,
because it's me, man. You know what I mean? I'm like a little nobody. You know what I mean? So it's
yeah,
kind of
exactly.
embarrassing to even be considered for like interviews and stuff like this. So
That's
yeah,
why
it's
late
awesome.
90s for music was great for hip hop and early 2000s because everybody that was coming out was
Right.
underground. Everything was underground back then because there was
Definitely.
always something new, something different.
I would have to say like if you would consider, I don't know. Yeah, that's a hard question, man, because I don't really listen to much mainstream, at all. It's all
Yeah.
mainly, you know, I mean, if you would even consider Tech Nine mainstream.
Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of people actually say he went mainstream, and I remember actually a quote from him, and he said, "Tech Nine doesn't go mainstream. Mainstream went Tech Nine."
Right.
I
That
love
makes
that
sense, you
quote.
know what I mean? Yeah. So I guess, I mean, he'd be the closest thing to mainstream just because I don't know, man. He has so much versatility in his music too, and that's
Yeah,
one thing I admire. I cherish versatility, where you could go from, you know, utilizing one genre to create, a whole different style, a new thing, dude. You know what I mean? That's amazing to me. So
yeah, and he took such an influence from The Rock as well. Like we did, how many songs he did songs with us, like the guy from Slipknot. The name's passing my
right, yeah,
mind right now, and even
yeah, Corey Taylor, yeah, from Slipknot.
yeah, and like Surge from System of a Down, and
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, that
Oh
song
man, that was cool.
that song was nuts, man.
Yeah, his voice is such a throwback too from my childhood, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, for sure. For me, another one too that's like actually the definition of mainstream right now, but kind of is reviving, I think, hip hop in a way is Joyner Lucas. That is kind
Oh
of bringing
yeah,
more of the lyrics
dude.
back into the message and getting away from this mumble crap that's been
Big,
around.
big time. Oh, I can't stand it, man. I know. I like lyric. I've always been about lyricism and in utilizing words to make you like really think about shit. So
Yeah, like
yeah,
it's supposed to be poetry, right? And now it's
right,
gone away from that.
right, absolutely. At its core, man, it is
Yeah,
like
like I've said in episodes before, it's more like now the producer should be the famous one. Have a catchy
right,
beat, and then there you go. That's it. You don't need to care
right,
about what words you're saying anymore.
right. They make you then. You know what I mean? Your producer pretty much makes you.
Yeah, big
I mean, other
time.
than tattoos on the face and all that other crap,
Yeah.
you know.
Popping as much pills as you can and putting as much tats on your face
Right, yeah. I
equals
mean, not
dollar
not really
signs.
against people who do that, but it's like I
No.
don't know. It's just not my ticket, man. You know, I mean, I personally feel like I need some substance. Some
Yeah, the way I
some
look at it is this is a whole it's a subgenre, kind of like, rock. There was death metal, heavy metal, black metal,
right,
like eight hair metal. It's just a different
right.
part
It's
of hip
just a whole
hop.
nother.
Yeah.
Right. It's hard to like completely nix it because there's a couple artists out there that that make good songs, but it was like it's still hard to understand. You know what I mean? Even if they had a good message, well, I can't understand what you're saying. What's the you know what I mean?
Yeah, it all
There's
depends
a
on
lot
what
of that.
vibe you're going for that day too. Like if you're at a
Right.
party and you're just bumping some crazy beats, like it doesn't really matter. But
Right.
if you want to sit down and
Yeah.
think and actually listen and catch lyrics, then your best
Yeah.
bet's just pure rap,
Right.
pure,
That could be the same thing with metal too. Like
yeah,
a lot of heavy metal. There's none but screaming. You can't understand what they're saying, and you know what I mean. It kind of
yeah,
loses
exactly.
its it loses its luster because you can't understand it. But at the same
Yeah,
time, if you can look up the lyrics, but still, I mean, let's go out of the way to do that, unless unless they really hear some crazy stuff to it, because
yeah.
lyrics.
The
I'm
best
all
is
about
always
lyrics.
catching that punchline the first time around, and you're just like, "Holy
Yeah.
crap! Did you just say that?" Rewind. Like Eminem's great at that with his wordplay. You have to
Oh
listen
man, yeah.
like 10 times, and you'll find something new. Where you're just like, "Holy crap! I
Right.
didn't even think of that at all."
Yeah, you have to like stop and think about one line, and then by the time that line's gone, you're like, oh, I'm gone.
Yeah.
I mean, like I'm like catching up. Like,
You
oh my
already had
goodness.
like 10 more fed to you, and you're like, "Hey, what happened a
Right.
minute ago?" Like,
It's so
oh yeah.
crazy.
So this is like you said, you do everything in house. I do everything in house. So being this
Yep.
like underground independent artist, from making a song from start to finish, from finding the beat, writing the lyrics, recording it, mixing it down, promoting it. What's like the hardest part for you of that whole process, and what's the easiest part for you of that whole process?
Um, I'd say the easiest part is the funnest part, which is probably either it's kind of a mix up actually, but mainly I think producing is probably the funnest part. So it's easier for me to do that. It's mainly the writing process that I get really, what I mean, like in depth more, and I have to think about what I'm trying to write because I like to do all kinds of like double entendres and I like to try to write, you know,
Yeah,
metaphors in it and stuff like that. And it takes me a little bit, you know, to write anything. Sometimes it just comes, you know what I mean? But sometimes I really have to sit and ponder, you know, on a lot of things to come up with bars and stuff like that. But
yeah, for sure. Like for me, my favorite part is also the most nerve-wracking part is just hearing it for the first time, because sometimes in your head I've had songs where I was like, oh, this is gonna hit hard, and then you actually hear it out and you're like, that's nothing what I thought it was gonna sound in my head.
oh yeah,
Or vice versa,
yeah,
one you might not be feeling, and then you put it down to some
right,
different beat you might have tried, and you go, holy shit, this one's amazing.
yep. I know. Yeah, sometimes it just works. And then
Yeah.
other times I gotta make stuff work. You know what I mean? I have to either modify the beat or something like that to make it, you know, work with the idea I have. You know, sometimes a bass drop where the vocals carry out sometimes works,
Yeah.
you know, or like, you know what I mean? It it's kind of hard for me to pinpoint one thing, but I would say, dude, what you just mentioned is actually pretty accurate. Where you think of something awesome in your brain and then you try to put it down or record it, and it's like, no,
Yeah.
it didn't sound right at all. You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it happens. Sometimes it's like, you know what I mean. It's hit or miss, I think.
Yeah, it's always the best and most nerve-wracking part, hearing it for the first time
Yep.
and then
Right.
playing it in your ears about 100 times before anybody else ever hears it.
Yep. Yeah. No doubt. That's like
And
the
I
whole
have to
writing
give
process.
a shout out to your track, I Ain't Mad. I just actually heard that, I think it was yesterday.
Yeah.
And that was dope as hell, man. So mad props to that track. I really did enjoy it.
Yeah, I
Uh,
appreciate that, man. I did
you're,
all that production and everything is like hours of me sitting and making sure every little hi hat and snare sounds perfect and kick and you know what I mean?
yeah, because I was going to talk to you about that beat. That beat,
Yeah.
man, I loved it. Like, do you come up with all your beats on your own, or there's some that you kind of source out for different tracks, or you just literally you just do them from the start?
All of them, everything that I ever do is either like ideas that I've learned and I just kind of apply it whatever I feel at a time. And so it literally that song kind of just it just worked. It's one of those examples of a song where like it's almost like it just fell into place weird. You know what I mean? Like, but every part of it, yeah, I produced the 808s, the everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, that
Fine
came
tune.
together beautifully, man.
Yeah, I was really stoked about it. Like, just the sound itself was like exactly what I was aiming for when it comes to like the rock idea, the whole vibe of it. You know?
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, fitted perfectly. I'm probably going to be checking it out after. I'll be running it for the station. So
Right
yeah,
on,
man,
man.
it's
That's
a great
awesome.
track. All
Much
right, I'm actually
appreciated.
no problem, man. I'm actually looking at the time. We're actually running out, but before
Yep.
I end all these shows, I end with one last segment, and this is called Name Your Bars. So what this is I will actually read out a bar or two from one of your tracks. No beat, no flow. I'm just going to read out the lyrics, and let's see if you can tell me which track these bars are from.
Okay.
It's going to be five different tracks of yours, and let's see how many you can get. No pressure or anything, but only one person on this show has actually been able to name all five.
Oh, wow. All right.
Uh, all right, man. So the first one I got here is I don't even need this life. You can have it now. White flag night down on the battleground.
Oh, that's no way out.
Yeah, it is, man.
Yeah,
That's one
no
for
way out.
one.
Yeah.
All right, second one. I'm just trying I'm just trying to live my life before they put me down in the dirt. But if you can't feel the pain with the sound of my word, maybe it's not what I deserve. Or maybe it's what
That
I deserve.
is,
Sorry.
yeah, what's left in my mind.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. That's a
That's
good
when you
one.
had a lot of the old rock vibe as well in those kind of
Oh
tracks
yeah,
back
big
then.
time, man.
It's kind of going to
Definitely.
your older tracks there, and I was just, wow, that was a different sound than what you sent me for the anthem.
Right.
I wasn't
Definitely.
expecting it at all, man, and it blew me
Yeah.
away in a good way for sure.
Yeah, it came off of the whole rock vibe for sure.
Yeah. All right, third one here. It's painful to see that you would go and stab me in the back. It's shameful to see that truth and loyalty in which you lack.
That's snakes.
Yeah, it is.
Snakes.
And that had James on it too, as well, didn't it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, man, you're 3 for 3, so two more to go.
Right on.
All right, see, because nobody really cares unless it's someone they love. It's enough to question whether or not there's someone above watching over us. Hold
American
on.
Dream.
Yeah, it is. Sorry, I read that out wrong. No, my bad. But yeah.
You're good. You're good. Yeah, that's cool though.
All right, and the final one here, 4 for 4. Let's see if you can get 5 for 5. Is suckers come and get it. I can lay you flatter than latitude. I'm a savage with the shit, so you better back off before I stab at you.
That's Anthem.
Yeah, it is, man.
Yeah. What's up?
All right, man. You're the only second person to get perfect on there. Name your bars. Congrats.
Right on, yeah.
You know your music.
Right on, yeah, I do. I'm planning on performing it, so I mean,
Gotta
I
have it
make
in
it a
your
thing
head.
about right. I make it a thing about memorizing my bars. That way, I don't have a problem performing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for me, if somebody was to do it to me, especially just reading out the lyrics, I honestly don't think I could get 5 for 5. So,
Yeah.
damn, where's that one from?
Right.
All right, man. That's the time of the show. I want to thank you again for coming on. Really appreciate it. Had a lot of fun chatting with you, and keep me updated on that new album and that new track, man. So definitely keep me informed on all that for sure.
That's what's up, man. Appreciate you.
All right, man. No problem. Take it easy and stay safe out there.
Yeah, you too, man.